Well, Jake, I mean, there's to put up 50 in your first game, feel like there's just a million plays to get to. First, kind of where is your mind at in terms of processing the way this one went today?
I'm with you a little bit on the game. Here's the best part. We needed this outcome. We came in to get the win. We did get the win. Okay. And what I told the coaches, if we get the outcome we desire, we're going to get the learns that we require because we are going to be a new team from week 1 to week 2. I really firmly believe that. We had so many new guys playing out there, maybe a little nervous energy, just kind of finding their fit where, just to get out there and to have some success, to face some adversity. I think the biggest thing we'll take from a coaching staff is we got to be better in the fourth quarter. We want to be aggressive. We were aggressive. Sometimes we're good, sometimes weren't. We had to respond. This game, I think in the totality of it had so many ups and downs and so many things that we'll get better at, but we got to be a better football team next week than when we are walking off this field.
It seemed like, sorry. It seemed, I mean, like at least to me, it seemed like Cam could have gotten rattled early between the fumble and just kind of these points on the board, but he was throwing for 450 yards and almost 50 passes. What did you kind of make of his out today?
Well, I think same thing. We pressed maybe a little bit. He left a couple things on the table, but I think he stayed consistent. He kept working. And that is a group that I think is going to gel from this tape. I think they're going to learn a lot about each other from the tape. I know we played a ton of snaps, so it was good to see those guys play tired, rotate in. They pulled the goalie and we missed the one in the end zone. We obviously love to have back there on the side, and I know he'd love to have that one. I think he missed one early down the seam, maybe on the first drive, but every time we needed them to go out there and keep going because of whatever happened in the game, they kept it going. And that's the sign of moving forward. Now, like I said, fourth quarter and just there were times in the game, though, that we just need to clean up some things. Obviously, the fumble snaps, to have 3 of those, and those haven't shown up really at all through fall camp. So we got to look at and figure out where that's coming from. And, we battled out of some holes to churn some drives out and finish in the red zone. I thought was pretty good.
Coach, you preached starting fast. It seemed like the defense definitely did that, and then the offense towards the second half. Did you like how you guys started?
Well, it wasn't the ideal start that we wanted, but I liked how we responded. So we went out there, they got the stop. Then we gave up the field goal when, things were going. They came out and surprised us a little bit with the tempo. We bowed up for a red zone stop. They were the first ones to score. And then to build that lead of 14 points before half, I thought was a kind of a grinded out journey. So I think there was some positives to take away from it. We didn't get out the gates the way we wanted to, but I thought we stayed the course and then, kind of kept going through an up and down game.
Cam Ward was also your leading rusher.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. What about, him being a dual threat that was able to help out everybody else too?
We do want to run the quarterback. I don't want him to be our leading rusher. I really don't ever again, but I think they were doing some things schematically where when we were pulling tackles, they were veer chasing. So, we had to do some things to get him out there and get him running. I think you got an opportunity to see how we want to use John in multiple different ways, not just goal line packages, short yardage packages, and really let him be kind of a wildcat thrower even within the course of normal games. So proud of both of those guys, and I think they'll continue to get better. But we need to be a little bit more physical at the line of scrimmage. That will be real. We'll find some things off of this tape that we need to get better at, and we'll continue to learn.
How about the defense of Jaden Hicks of that pick six?
Yeah, it was funny. I think Jaden was breaking on his own guy, and it was like, boom, here's the ball. But I just think he's a special talent, and I think he's really coming into his own. I think he's really comfortable in what he's doing, and he gives us a really great, just everyone thinks of leaders of RJ and BJ and Shaw, but he's a great leader in his own right. He goes out there and works his tail off, and he's just so multiple. So to cover guys, to blitz, to run, I just think the sky's the limit for Jaden.
He had the half sack that he came on blitz, and then later on he jumps like a million feet into the air and almost comes down with another pick.
Yeah.
Is that just showing kind of his range of abilities for him to kind of make those different types of plays? What does that say about
Well, it was amazing. Even in 2021, when he was a freshman, there'd be sometimes just in play, all of a sudden in scrimmages, you would just see him make a miraculous play, and you're like, this kid's going to be good. And he had to really work into his own. And that was the coolest part about Jaden's story is at first it was overwhelming. And then obviously to be the full-time starter last year, to be who he is now, there's a lot of work that's been involved in that, and really proud of him. And like I said, sky's the limit for Jaden, and just really happy with where he's at because he's playing really comfortable. And anytime this defense has been really good, we've had that strong safety position that a guy that can do so many different things. I had Andrew Wingard when I was at Wyoming. who's now in his 5th year in the NFL, Elijah Halliburton. I'm going through the kind of the roster roll of guys that have been really good at that position. Daniel Isom here, now Jaden. So it's hard to find, and I think he's the perfect fit for it.
I think it'd be offensive line tonight.
That's when I really got to see the tape. I'm happy with Essa. I do think they have good defensive linemen. I think there were times where we wore down. I want to be more efficient and effective in the run game, and we got to find ways to do that. So I think there'll be a lot of learns, but I felt for the most part, getting Lely out there really on a week's practice to play and perform that way is a credit to him and his ceiling. And we'll see kind of how we played 7 guys pretty regularly, and we'll see kind of who stands out and where we're going to go from here.
Christian was taking reps at, I want to say, right guard during fall camp.
Yeah.
Tonight when he was in, he was a left guard.
Yeah.
Is that, which is where he usually was last year, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to pretty much play Christian at left guard because then if we ever need him to bump out, he's playing on the left tackle spot. We have Christie kind of at the extra right tackle spot. We got Make and Brock going to kind of rotate in at the right guard. So I think Christian will really be a staple on that left side.
Coach, now onto a big game, and this time you get to welcome Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit about your thoughts and having that team get to play them again.
Well, I think first and foremost, it's big for Washington State, and really happy to have a top 20 team from the Big Ten that's going to be at our place in Pullman. It's time for us to show out. It is. That stadium needs to be packed. It needs to be loud. It needs to be 4 quarters. And we have an opportunity on a national stage to show who we are. With everything that's been going on, we have an amazing opportunity to show what the Cougs are about. Okay, now that'll be the atmosphere. All right, our job as a football program is to narrow that scope because there'll be plenty of distractions. So we got to come back Monday morning, learn from this tape. Monday's afternoon, walk through. We got to apply those learns, and we got to have a great week of practice. That's our job. Coug Nation, your job is to show up and be loud, and let's have some fun because this is going to be an amazing time for Washington State.
Last thing on Cam, you mentioned the misfire he had to DT. I think that was the first drive of the game. I think he misses Billy for what looked like an easy touchdown. Yep. I'm curious, now that he's going into his second year, as he's gotten to know a little better, how does he tend to react when he misses like that? Does he get down on himself?
I think Cam's an ultimate competitor. I think he really is. And here's the best part. You don't need to be hard on Cam because he's hard on himself, right? So, hey, you missed it, wipe it, right? Next play, right? We're going to get another opportunity. We need to go out there and do it because you can't carry that in. And obviously the 4th down we didn't convert. So those are the things I think all good quarterbacks have the ability to move on to the next play. And sometimes that one that's wide open, you just try to aim it instead of throw it. He'll learn from that. Adrenaline gets going a little bit, but I thought he was really sharp. I thought he stayed in the pocket, which is what we want him to do a little bit more. And we also gave him a pocket. So, like I said, there'll be a lot of things that we can really take from this tape.
Surprised how open Nakia was in that wheel route.
Yeah, I think they missed the peel. But good. He showed his versatility. And I said, and we left a lot on the table. So that's the fun part about this. Winning's hard. We got a good win on the road and excited about that.
Oh, okay. Dennis, do you have anything?
Well, I'm sorry, I missed that, the
It's
earlier
okay.
part, but just, it seemed like, the offense and the defense was a balanced effort tonight. Just in that big scoring, but what was your overall impressions of the way Cameron Ward played and just the big lead you guys were able to take?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I didn't think anything was just easy. I know sometimes you look at the scoreboard, but Colorado State in year 2 is going to be a much improved football team. I really mean that. And they had all of our focus, and I thought offense, defense, special teams, there's going to be a ton of learns from this film. And we got to be a new team next week versus walking out of this locker room. So thought offensively we sputtered at times, and then the scoreboard says we did some really good things at times. Okay, defensively. To go out there and really put 3 complete quarters together and then not finish. So there's a lot of things that we will learn and go. And obviously giving up a special teams touchdown is not where we want to be. So our guys will come back ready to work and know that we need to get better. Yep.
I might know what your answer to this one might be, but you mentioned kind of being bothered by some of the 4th quarter stuff that went down with the kickoff return and then them scoring. How do you does that bother you as much as it would have to do like in the first quarter? Or like the garbage time of like a 30-point blowout?
Oh, funny. You should ask my wife. I mean, when I was defensive coordinator and we would be up big and sub the twos in late and then they'd score a touchdown, she's like, "You're gonna be crappy, aren't you?" And most of the time I was. I've improved in my old age. I think you really take them as learns. I think you really do. So when we walk into that special teams meeting, we're gonna have their full attention because of what happened, and yes, it didn't cost us this game, but we need to be better to make sure it doesn't cost us a game down the future. So we'll have everyone's attention with that. It never sits well, especially because we've been really emphasizing finishing, and we're going to need to be a fourth quarter finish type team to win games this season. So we'll get better and learn from that. All right, go Cougs.
So thanks, Jake.